Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how to type. So for example, I can type a text like my first paragraph. So that is the sentence that I'm typing. So you can see there is some aspect that have just come out clearly, that when I'm typing after I've done with my, you can see the text there, my. How do I create this space between my and first? So the first thing that you need to do is to press the space bar on your keyboard. So the space bar key on the keyboard allows you to create space between words. Yeah. So that's very important for us to understand. Now, the next thing that you need to understand is that sometimes you make an error while typing, and therefore you want to go back to the previous action, or sometimes you want to go back, or you want to erase that word. So there are two ways to erase a character in word processing. So the first way to erase a character in word processing is by the use of the backspace. So the backspace key allows you to delete going to the left. So this one allows you to delete going to the left. So when I click like this, you can see that the text is automatically disappearing. But what if I don't want to use the backspace? How do I go about it? I can use the delete key to, to delete going to the right. So I click on this particular point here, and therefore I can use my delete key on the keyboard so that I can able to delete the characters going to the right like that. So you can see how it has happened. Now, in case I want to go back to where I was, I need to use the undo button. So the undo button says that it is mainly used to take you back to the previous action. So for example, when I click here, you can see the text is appearing the way I had already deleted. So that is the role of the undo button. So for example, I want to go back again to redo button. Just do like this, and then you can see it goes back to the current action that you've just executed. But I'll just maintain up to that particular point. Now, supposing I've typed a paragraph and I want to move from that paragraph to the next paragraph. So what is the way forward? In order for you to move from one paragraph to the other, you need to use what we call the enter key. Now, the enter key is the one that enables you to jump to the next line so that you can continue typing whatever you want to type in this particular document, like that. So you can see that one allows me to type to the next line. You can as well be able to go to the next line by just pressing enter. You can be able now to go to the next line, and then you can continue typing the document the way you want it to appear. So you can see I've been able to show you the power of those three buttons. We have what we call the space bar that is used to create spacing. We have also talked about the backspace that is used to delete the character going to the left. We have talked about the delete key, allows you to delete characters going to the right. And then we have also talked about the power of the enter key that enable you to move from one line of the document to the next. Now, moving further, we want to talk about formatting. So what is formatting? Formatting is basically the process of enhancing. It is the process of enhancing the appearance of the Word document. Now, sometimes the way you have just typed, it is not appealing at all. It is not attractive to the reader. It is not even close to the reader's attention. And therefore, there is need for you to do some things that will be able to attract the reader's attention. And therefore, in word processing, we have got three types. We have what we call the text formatting. We have what we call the paragraph formatting. And then we have the page formatting. We shall start with the text formatting. Now, text formatting is a word. Yeah. A text formatting basically is a bunch of characters that have been put together to form a word. Now, for example, I want to format a paragraph word. So in this, my first paragraph, I want to format this paragraph alone. Now, the first thing you need to do is to highlight. So what is highlight? In Microsoft Word, when you talk about highlight, basically you mean the process of selecting a bunch of text so that you can be able to perform some formatting features on it. Sometimes we call it blocking. So when you say highlight or blocking, you mean one and the same thing. So in this case, I want to highlight this particular word, paragraph. So how do you highlight? There are various ways to do that. To highlight a single word in Microsoft Word, you double click. Double click enable you to highlight a single word. Then what about a paragraph? You triple click to highlight a paragraph. And what about a page? You press Ctrl plus A on your keyboard to highlight the entire text in your document. Okay. Now going further, I'm interested with paragraph alone. So I'm going to double click on the paragraph one. And then where are the text formatting features? The text formatting features in this particular case, they are found within the font section. Now, for instance, I want to make this text to be thicker than the rest. I click on B. So that is what we call bold. So making the text to be thicker than the rest, that is bold. Then you go to the next one, we have what we call italics. I stands for italics. So what does italics mean? Slanting the text forward. You can see how the text is appearing on your screen. And then you go to the next one, that is what you call underline. U means underline, placing a baseline below that text. And then going further, we have what we call strike through. It is the way to eliminate a word in a document. And then you go to superscript and subscript. So when you talk about superscript, for example, I'm writing something like, let me write something down here like X2. Okay, so that's the text that I want to write. And therefore, I want to make X to be a subscript. So what do I need to do? I need to highlight these two here. And then I go to X base 2. So I click on it. When I click on it, you realize that that 2 appears to be lower than the rest. That's what we call subscript. Now, supposing I want to make this 2 to be higher than the rest. So how am I supposed to go about it? I'm supposed to highlight these 2 again, and then I press on this particular icon here. So when I click on this icon, you realize that that 2 is moved at the top there. Good. So that is how you can go about it. The next thing that you need to do is to go to this outline. So when you talk about the text effects, there are many effects that you can put to apply on text. So these are some of the text that are basically they're just ways to enhance the appearance of the text. So for example, you can put some outline of text around it. You can put some shadows. You can see the way some shadows are there. We have got many types of shadows. So you can go for maybe, I can use maybe this. So you can see by so doing, beneath that word, there is some kind of shadow that has been casted there. So that is what you call the text effect. So in case you want to apply all this, you can go for it for them. The next thing that I want to show you is how to apply what we call text highlight color. So text highlight color in this case mean that the color of the individual words are not affected, but the background is affected. So for example, when I click on this, you realize that yellow will appear at the background of that word, but the color of the characters on that word is not affected. That's what we call text highlight. Now, the opposite of text highlight is font color. So font color, you color the individual characters, but not the background. So for example, I want to color first. So what I need to do, I go to A, and beneath there we have the red color. I select there, and then I can be able to go for a color that I want. For example, I want it to be green. So you can see how it happens or how it looks like. There is a difference between this and this. Now going further, we have what we call clear all formatting. So for example, I want to clear all the formatting that I've done on this paragraph. I need to click on that icon there. So when I click there, you realize that automatically things start shaking off, and therefore you can be able to get rid of those formatting features that you've just been able to apply on that particular text. Yeah. So you can go about it as you can go to see the strike through has disappeared. We have the underline, the bold, and so many other things have been able to disappear in this case. Now going further, we have what we call the change case. So when you talk about change case, it's basically appearing the text in either capital letters or small letters and many other things that you can put to perform on that particular scope. For example, we have got 5 ways to write text. So the first one is what we call sentence case. So sentence case is the default way to write text in this case. Now, for example, you are writing a word in Microsoft Word, and you have not even started with a caps lock. So automatically, the first character of that word will be capitalized, and that's what you call sentence case. Yeah. Then you go further, you have what we call the lowercase. When you talk about the lowercase, is that the text appear to be small letters. And then you talk about uppercase is the vice versa of the lowercase. That means that the text is going to appear the text is going to be in capital letters. Then when you talk about capitalize each word, is that the text, every first character of a word is supposed to be in capital letter. And then you finally talk about toggle cases, that is the opposite of when you talk about capitalize each word. This means that when you talk about toggle case, when the word is in small letter, it will be in capital, and if a character is in capital, it's going to be in small letters. Now let's try to implement that. Now, for example, I want to make, already this one is a sentence case. I've already explained that. M is showing that there is sentence case in that case. Then we have second here. Second is showing that we have got the lowercase, because everything is appearing in small letters. And then we have got also, we want to put now second, for example, I want to put second to be capital letter. So I highlight that word, and then I go to change case, and then I go to uppercase. So what is going to happen is that this text is going to appear to be in capital letters. Now, supposing I want to appear on my third paragraph, I want to appear what you call, I want to show capitalize each word. So what am I going to do? I'm going to triple click on this paragraph, and then after that, I'm going to change case, and after that, I'm going to capitalize each word. So by so doing, you'll be able to realize that the first character of every word will be capital letters. Now, what if I want to change this particular third paragraph to have what you call the toggle case? So what am I supposed to do? I triple click this particular paragraph, I go to change case, and then I go to toggle case. So by so doing, you can be able to see that this text has changed the way it has been appearing. If it is in capital letters, it has been changed to be small letters. And if it is small letters, it has changed to be in capital letters. So that's basically how change case works. Now going further, we have what we say grow and shrink text. So what do we mean by grow text? So for instance, I want to grow the text paragraph. So in case I want to grow this text, rather than using any other means, I can just click on this particular icon here. So by so doing, you can be able to see that the text is increasing in size. Yeah. And for instance, I want to shrink the text, or I want to reduce the size of the text. I just click on this second icon so that I can be able to reduce the text to any size that I want. So that's what we call grow text and shrink text. Last but not least, we talk about font type and font size. When you talk about the font type, it is the design of the characters. It is the design of the characters and the way it will be able to appear. Now, for instance, I want to show you how these characters will appear. So, for example, paragraph, I've highlighted the word paragraph. I go to it's written Calgary body, and then I click on this drop down arrow. I can go to select something like Arial Black. And then on this second word, I can go to select something else. Maybe I can go back to the font type, and then I select Bodoni, Bedoni Sans Black. So you can see there is a difference between this text and this text. So basically, the appearance of the text will be able to determine the font that you're going to use, or you are using. Yeah. So you can see when I use this, you can see the way it is appearing to be skinny than the rest. And then when I use Algeria, you can see the way texts are appearing. So basically, it's the design of characters in Microsoft Word. Now, in case you want to adjust the size of those words, there is also another way to go about it. You can go to use the font size. So this is where it's written 11 and then the drop down arrow here. These are what we call the font sizes. Okay. So at the moment you hover going down, you can see the text keep on increasing in size as you go down. That is exactly what is happening in this case.